Right, what are we doing?
How's it going, Eddie? Big news coming out. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, postponed again. Just curious what your reaction is, and if there is any sort of estimate, when the fight will carry on.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not my fight. I had some fighters on the undercard, which I'm disappointed about, but I'll leave that to His Excellency and George Warren and Spencer Brown. It's unfortunate, it happens quite a lot in boxing, but doesn't always happen to the biggest fights in boxing. 2 weeks out, probably one of the last couple of spars for Tyson Fury. And, looking at the cut, doesn't look like a pleasant cut. And speaking only to the guys this morning, because obviously looking at our guys that are on the card, I think probably April, May is a realistic kind of date for a postponement.
For people who have obviously conspiracy theories or look at history, right? They go Tyson Fury.
Yeah, so
constantly gets in and out.
To have a conspiracy theory, you would have to suggest that Tyson Fury has allowed someone to cut him open with a knife above his eye when he sparred and trained for 7 weeks and he's making an absolute fortune to fight for the Undisputed Championship. No. This is unfortunately a freak accident. It's a bad cut. You see he wears an open head guard, which he's always done, but he's also never got cut before in sparring like that. So it's just terrible luck for him and Usyk and Saudi Arabia and boxing.
Any concerns on the because he had a cut for the the Francis fight, had cuts from the Walling fight. These scar tissues, you think it might have been accumulated?
As you get on, as you go deep in your career and you have had cuts, you might be more susceptible to them, but looks like more of a freak elbow and an injury that I don't know. I think he's not my fighter, so I can't really tell you about his scar tissue and how he marks up in sparring. But
do you know how disappointed they may or may not be over in Saudi about this?
I would think absolutely devastated. I mean, it was such a massive event for Riyadh season. It's the biggest fight in world boxing. The effort that His Excellency has put in. I mean, look at the promo that was cut the other day. The fight's still going to happen, in my opinion. But everyone will be very disappointed, and it's probably, unfortunately for them, their first taste of not the bad side of boxing, because it's just life. But I've been there 100 times where a fight's fallen through. Sometimes it's a massive fight, and sometimes it's not a massive fight. But nearly every card you have a fight fall through. Unfortunately for them and for boxing, it was the fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So hopefully it can be rescheduled as soon as possible, and hopefully we won't have to wait too long.
What do you think we were gearing up to see from Fury? I know he showed pictures that he was in good shape, but he just didn't look good against Ngannou. So
but I don't think he probably took that fight he wouldn't have taken that fight as seriously as he did Alexander Usyk. Listen, knowing him and the competitor that he is, I expect him to, after that Ngannou, had the bit between his teeth and bounce back and have a really big camp. You've seen the sparring partners they've brought out there. They weren't messing around. I mean, there's 6, 7 southpaws out there. I think he was gearing up for a tough fight, a great fight, and we shouldn't talk like, oh, that's the end of that one then, because I'm sure they're going to work as hard as they can to reschedule as soon as possible.
Is there any truth on the Philip Hydrovic and Usyk potentially being
I don't know.
replacement?
Again, it's not my show. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if Hrgovic has been in camp. He didn't have a fight scheduled, but if he's offered a huge amount of money, he might take it. I just feel like if Fury's going to be ready by April or May, I don't see how Usyk would fight Hrgovic in February and then be guaranteed to be ready again for April, May. I think a lot of these, when something like this happens, you just got to take a breath. You've got to go into another room. You've got to cry a little bit and say, why the fuck do I work in boxing? And then you've got to go, right, now we're going to deal with this. So sometimes 24 hours is a good thing to be able to just realign your thoughts and decide what's best.
I know you believe the fight is still going to eventually happen, but if for some reason it just never does come off, Usyk and Fury, what would you say to maybe matching Joshua with Usyk again a third time, even though it's 2-0?
The fight we really want is Tyson Fury, and it was our hope, and still is, that Fury can beat Usyk, become
Right.
undisputed. AJ can beat Ngannou, and then we've got a mega fight. But AJ's training team, Ben Davison, they love the Alexander Usyk fight for AJ now. He's lost to him twice, so it's probably not quite as compelling as some people might think it is. But yeah, I mean, we still want to see AJ become world heavyweight champion. He wants to try and become undisputed champion, so whatever route he's got to take.
What do you think it is with AJ in that Wallin fight? I mean, I'm sure you talked about it plenty after the fight, but just like he found that edge, the right kind of mentality, everything.
Just confidence.
Yeah.
Like, he's the kind of guy that if he understands the game plan and he's confident in the game plan, he can execute it brilliantly. You know, you saw that in the Andy Ruiz 2 fight. You've seen that in a lot of his earlier fights, and I just feel like he lost a little bit of confidence in what he was doing as a fighter. And Ben had brought out that belief in him. He brought out the game plan in him. AJ was exactly locked in and dialed into what he had to do, and he did it perfectly. And he's a dangerous guy when he's got that belief, and that belief is back. He needs to take that forward into the Francis Ngannou fight, which is a tough fight to do, because it's just the uncertainty of Ngannou and the size of him. Do you know what I mean? But he's just got to have that same belief, and he'll be fine.
You think he knocks Ngannou out?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I do. I think Ngannou is a immovable object. I think he's a giant of a man. But I still don't buy into the fact that you can just turn your hand to professional boxing and beat the number 1 and number 2 or 3 heavyweight in the world. But